What's up, guys? A lot has happened in the MMA world in the past couple days, and I'm going to cover it all. Khamzat Chimaev probably missed weight at his weigh-ins yesterday, but it's unconfirmed, but I have a lot of sources showing that he probably did. A lot of UFC fighters are actually picking Sean Strickland to win this fight, or at least giving him a better chance than I would have expected. And we may have Conor McGregor fight news coming up in the next 24 hours. So I'm going to cover all that in today's video, but first off, starting with Khamzat Chimaev making weight, supposedly. Let's see this video. Now, a lot of people have used this video to say Khamzat Chimaev did not make weight, and I agree. It very clearly shows that his weight did not settle on the scale before they called it 185 the moment he stepped on it. And not only that, he showed up the last person at the weigh-ins, very drained, very tired, very exhausted. And there's multiple reasons for this. We'll cover that later. But he clearly did not make weight. And the scale clearly showed that the metal bar on these type of scales that I've used many times tapped the top and stayed settled there and did not measure out in the middle like happens when someone makes weight. Here's a slowed down version of what happened for us to see. So you see it shakes a little bit. If he made weight, it would stay in the middle. But there, it hits the top. And once it hits the top, he steps off instantly, and they call 185. Even the commentators who were watching these live weigh-ins were a little bit suspicious of what happened. They've all kind of switched what they're saying now, but they are company men. However, right when this happened, Daniel Cormier was saying, man, he looks heavy. Man, he looks drained. Oh, it went to the top. All the commentators were speaking as if they knew that Khamzat had missed weight, and it was just a matter of time until the weight miss happened. But they were all a little surprised when he did make weight. It was like they were doing damage control. I don't know if maybe they just didn't want to miss a big fight, so they gave the weigh-in commission some instructions to make sure that he made weight no matter what. Allegedly, of course, all allegedly. Don't sue me, UFC. I'm sorry. But this seems to be a theme that's happened a lot recently. Big fights, possible weight misses in the main event, but they just keep it going. I think personally, that's the reason why we don't have digital scales yet. I think they have these analog scales so that if they need to, they can rig the fights. Again, allegedly. I don't actually believe that. That's just a joke I'm telling. Don't sue me, please, UFC. But on to Khamzat Chimaev, even after the weigh-in, you could see how drained he really was. Look at that. Khamzat, we're used to him yelling and screaming, even at weigh-ins. Look at how drained he was. I've never seen Khamzat that drained after weigh-ins. Couldn't even speak to his teammates. But there is a reason for that. But one more time, just as a comparison, here's the last time Khamzat weighed in versus when he weighed in now. This is today. Look how drained and tired he is. And this is the last time he weighed in. Exact same weight class. You can just tell he's so much more exhausted, so much more drained in. He showed up last to the weigh-ins this time with barely any time left. So if he had missed for any sort of reason, he wouldn't have had time to keep cutting weight. Man, I don't want to say this is all some sort of thing that was put together so this fight would carry ahead with the same hype, because it probably would have lost some height if the belt wasn't on the line for both men. But that may really be what just happened. And again, here's Arman Sarukian saying that Khamzat was cutting 21 kg to make the middleweight limit. This is a man who used to fight at welterweight. And I know he bulked up for middleweight, but he's never cut this much weight to make the middleweight division. In his past, I believe this will be his fourth fight at middleweight. He's never looked like this on the scale and never cut this much weight. Now, you may be wondering, why was he cutting way more weight this time than usual? Well, here's why. On the Jackson podcast, Khalil actually said the original plan was for Khamzat to fight Yuri for the vacant light heavyweight belt. If you guys remember, that news was going around a few weeks ago, probably like a month and a half ago, that Khamzat would be fighting, probably 2 months ago, maybe not a month and a half ago, but that Khamzat would be fighting Yuri for the light heavyweight belt after Alex vacated. And then everyone chalked that up to fake news after it didn't happen. However, recently, it looks like that may have actually been true. According to what Khalil said, Brendan Allen, who's been training of Khamzat Chimaev, also vouched for that on the same podcast. But looks like that all changed when Sean beat Fluffy. They probably saw how much hype this fight would get, as we've clearly seen, and decided to switch it. So apparently Khamzat Chimaev bulked up to 230, which, again, correlates with what Arman, his training partner, said. He had to cut 41 pounds just about. and then had to cut all the way back down to 185 pounds. A bad weight cut was very expected in this. However, I think this was more than a bad weight cut. I think this was a weight miss. And I don't mean to categorize Khamzat in a category of other fighters, but it seems a lot of times the bigger stars from the Caucasus regions who have trouble making weight are a lot of times given exceptions. Charles Oliveira was not given this clear exception. He was made to lose his belt after a half-pound weight miss, but maybe that's because I saw Justin Gaethje at the time as a bigger star. Who knows? But moving on to related news, a lot of fighters seem to be switching their picks or giving Sean Strickland a bigger chance to win this fight. Gilbert Burns said the weight cut on the main event, in my opinion, changed the way this fight goes 100%. Clearly, that means he believes Sean Strickland will win because of this bad weight cut for Khamzat Chimaev. But Gilbert Burns isn't the only fighter saying stuff like this, and most of them aren't actually blaming it on the weight cut. Like right here, Dustin Poirier says he knows a lot of guys who are in Sean Strickland's camp, real wrestlers, telling him that Sean is hard to hold down. We've heard a lot of training stories from Sean. We've seen in his fights, he can't be held down. A lot of people are chalking that up to he just hasn't fought Khamzat Chimaev. But I'm seeing this a lot. And even Dustin Poirier agrees. If Khamzat goes into the 4th and the 5th rounds and Sean Strickland keeps getting up, this is an interesting fight. I'm still picking Khamzat by a sub. I think Sean Strickland getting up will actually benefit Khamzat getting a sub. But I don't know. A lot of fighters, and myself included, have been very on the fence with this fight, way more than I expected to. Sean Strickland has a lot of training stories and demonstrated in his fights again that he's really good at getting up, really good at avoiding subs, doesn't get controlled, doesn't get put in even submission positions. Man, I don't know. I think this is going to be a harder fight for Khamzat than a lot of people think. And even Triple C and Kamaru Usman, who fought both of them, by the way, have given Sean Strickland a great chance at winning this fight. Usman, while he did pick Khamzat by a small margin, he actually put money on Strickland to win because he said he's way too big of an underdog and he has a great chance of winning this fight. And Triple C is very sure of Sean Strickland, not Sean O'Malley. I don't think he'd ever pick Sean O'Malley. He has a great chance of Sean Strickland winning this fight. And I know Triple C doesn't have the greatest fight picks. He's pretty bad at picking fights when he's not in front of his little chalkboard. I didn't mean to say little chalkboard. I know he's a small guy. I didn't mean to say little chalkboard. But when he's in front of his tiny little baby chalkboard, I know that's the only time he has good analysis. And even then, it's not that great. But, man, a lot of fighters are on the side of Sean Strickland, or at least giving him a pretty good chance. So I don't know what that means. But, and again, Islam Makhachev. This is Islam Makhachev, one of the most credentialed grapplers, just trained with Khamzat. You would think, and they're from near the same region, you would think that his loyalties would lie way more to Khamzat. He'd be way more biased to Khamzat, but he believes this could be a very, very hard fight for Khamzat because of Strickland's ability to get back up. He's seen the technical ability of Sean to get back up, avoid submissions, push a pace. And I know Sean Strickland doesn't push the heaviest pace, but he makes his opponent push a heavy pace while not pushing one himself, so they gas out while he doesn't really. And we've seen Khamzat Chimaev be very twitchy on the feet while his opponent is not as twitchy. Man, that might lead to a very interesting fight. Imagine taking someone down and then having to take them down again because they keep getting up on the feet. They're not expending much energy while you're pushing with everything you have in you the whole time on the feet. By those 4th and 5th rounds, if Sean Strickland, because I don't see him just getting held down, I see him either getting subbed or getting back up. I don't see this same Dricus performance. At the 4th and 5th rounds, I don't know. This could be a pretty hard fight for Khamzat. I'm not saying Sean wins, but I might have to do another last-minute prediction video for this fight because I might be switching my pick. I'm not sure. But on to the last thing. Conor McGregor fight news imminent in the next 24 hours. And this is from yesterday at 10 p.m., so about 12 hours ago. So sometime in the next 12 hours, I'm guessing after the pay-per-view or maybe during the pay-per-view, sometime around then, we will be getting Conor McGregor fight news, and I do believe that will be a Max Holloway fight. Come back to this after the announcement and let me know I was right, because I know I'm going to be right, or rub it in my face if I was wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right. Max Holloway fight announcement is what I'm expecting within the next 12 hours, probably during the pay-per-view. So if I'm to give a prediction, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor fight announcement right after the main event. maybe in the post-fight press conference, or it would be pretty cool if they did like some sort of trailer for it during the fights. But the UFC doesn't put that much work, that much promotion into their product anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised, which is Dana White reading off a piece of paper. Next, what'd you say? Yep, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway. Yep, that's the fight we're making. Any questions? I would not be surprised if you heard that. But that's all the news I have for today. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and I will be making a last-minute prediction video for this fight. My opinion has changed a little bit with everything that's happened as of recent, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll also be making a post-pay-per-view recap video immediately after the pay-per-view tonight. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.